is yours, the world is yours. It's mine, it's mine, the world is this.
Yo, what's good, everyone? It's League, and happy New Year, bro. It's a new year, and man, listen, man. I know DB has been in the toughest state right now. Like, yo, DB, man, I don't know what's going on, but besides all that, besides all the negative parts of DVD, honestly, I wanna make a little list. You know what I'm trying to say? I wanna make a top 5 list of all the killers I wanna see this year that could possibly make it to the game. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, original killers, to be specific, like types of killers. You know what I'm trying to say? These killers, I feel like they should honestly be in the game in some sort of way, shape, or form. I mean, I have a feeling that at least one of these killers are gonna make it to the game at least one day. It's probably not even this year, but if it is this year, that will be perfect, because listen, man, life's too short. But anyways, let's get right into it. Starting at number 5, we have a night killer. Now, a night killer, I feel, will be like a pretty cool concept in DVD, because we have the Oni. So to go back in that sort of timeline, I feel like it would be pretty dope to have like a night killer in the game. I don't know what the power would necessarily be. I guess if it's a knight, it'll have something to do with the shield. Like if a knight has a shield, because not all knights, not all of them be having shields. But if the knight has a shield, then I'm guessing the power will have something to do with the shield. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it might be some sort of dash. It might be some sort of like dash power where the knight could like charge up the shield and like dash towards you or something like that with the shield and one shot you in a way. But that sounds a bit too casual for a night killer. I feel like the knight might have something else to do. Like I feel like the knight character might do something else dealing with like religion or something like that. Like maybe the knight, like the killer being a knight, that could just be the appearance. You know what I'm trying to say? Maybe the knight character could have like water powers or something like that. Like a power with water. Maybe it could be some sort of gladiator. You know what I'm trying to say? Like gladiator dealing with water. With like a trident as a weapon. I'm only saying that because I'm thinking of For Honor right now, and I know when we had the crossover For Honor event, I dead thought that like the next killer was gonna be like a night killer or some sort of night some sort of night type of killer, maybe inspired by For Honor. I thought behavior was gonna like wind up doing something like that, but I guess not. But I mean, who knows? It's probably like chapter, like 26 or something like that. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, you just never know. It could be a later chapter later on. You know what I'm trying to say? I've never given up hope for a night killer, because that's definitely a type of killer I want to see in DVD. Next, on number 4, we have another killer that could go through walls, and like the nurse, like that type of killer. Like some just a killer that could go through walls. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I dead want Nurse to be defeated. I'm not trying to say oh, I can't stand Nurse, but she's been the strongest killer in the game since launch. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, bro, something needs to change, bro. Like, come on. I get she's like the slowest, and that's what makes up for it, is her power really heavily makes up for her slowness. Like her being the slowest base movement killer, because her movement speed is 3.8 ms. But it's like I want a new killer to release that could actually be stronger than Nurse. You know what I'm trying to say? That's why I'm thinking of another killer that could go through walls, because I feel like that's really the strongest thing in the game. If a killer could go through walls in this game, that's strong, like enough. You know what I'm trying to say? Like that's strong. The Nurse could do that. She's strong. You know what I'm trying to say? Like it's only like it only gets that way. You know what I'm trying to say? Like it's like I'm really trying to think of a power in my head that could possibly be stronger than going through walls without sounding too like ridiculous. You know what I'm trying to say? I just don't know though. Like I guess going through walls, like another killer that could possibly go through walls. I guess that like maybe the killer won't be stronger than Nurse, but it'll probably like the killer will probably be on par with Nurse. You know what I'm trying to say? Like they will be on the same level. But I don't know. I just want Nurse defeated or something, dude. I want a killer that's stronger than Nurse. But who knows? That might not even happen. The Nurse might be the strongest killer forever. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I don't know. Anything can happen this year or even in 2023. So I'm only looking forward to it. Next, for number 3, a sort of mind trickery killer. Almost like a killer that can disguise itself as a survivor or a werewolf, which would be pretty cool. I know There's a whole bunch of reasons why a killer that could disguise themselves as a survivor, it shouldn't be a thing. I know, but then it's like, who doesn't want that type of concept in the game? You know what I'm trying to say? Or at least is interested in it. Because honestly, I think they should just, why not? Just to like give it a try. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, just why not? I mean, I know the killer might be pretty weak, but hey, at least the killer would be fun, right? I mean, that's really all that matters at this point, because this game is really sweaty at the moment. So, like I said last video, but it's like the only thing that really matters in this game right now is fun. So, it's like I would love to see it play out, even though I already know how it's gonna turn out. But I would still love to see how a killer disguised as a survivor could end up in DVD. It's like different ways they can do it too. I mean, I'm just trying to think of a way that they can incorporate that without the killer being too weak. What I was thinking of like, when I thought about a killer that could disguise himself as a survivor, I always thought about the fact that the killer would have some sort of touch of death thing. So let's say, like, how can I say it? The killer will have some sort of touch of death, and the killer could also fake is serious, almost like Dark Deception or Pit is serious on a different survivor, to throw them off while they're disguised as a different survivor. You know what I'm trying to say? And what I mean about the touch of death thing is that say if the killer was to touch a toolbox or a chest or interact with anything around the map, and the survivor interacts with it like within a minute, that means like the survivor will be exposed for like a minute or something like that, and the killer could like down them or surprise attack them when they disguise as a survivor. You know what I'm trying to say? They could make that type of killer strong enough, but I just don't want it to be too broken, because you already know everybody's gonna complain. But I mean, we need more stronger killers in this game anyway, so you know, why not? You know what I'm trying to say? I do hope Sadako, however you spell her name, however you pronounce her name, is strong, because she already has that intimidating presence. So I just want her to be really strong. Like, I kind of feel bad for my boy Pinhead, because he's not even like really that strong in this game, but his presence is like, whoa, you know what I'm trying to say? So it is what it is though. A killer that could disguise itself as a survivor would be a really cool concept that I would love to see in the game, and I'm still looking forward to it into this day, honestly. Coming next at number 2, we have a flying killer. Now, a flying killer in this game, I don't know how that will work. I'm guessing the killer will probably fly like midway in the center, because when you think about it, inside maps that will be an issue. So I could kind of see that, I could kind of see like a thing for that. Maybe a flying killer. How would they incorporate? I know Jeepers Creepers was supposed to come into the game, because they hinted Jeepers Creepers coming into the game. So I'm assuming Jeepers Creepers was supposed to fly in the first place. But my thing is that probably would have been, Jeepers Creepers flying would have probably been just like a volt animation, like a short volt animation where he just pops up in the air, spreads his wings a little bit, and then hops back down. You know what I'm trying to say? It'll be like a mini interaction, like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, you see how Demogorgon could crawl through the vault, and he just doesn't crawl as a power. So it'll be the same thing with Jeepers Creepers. So that's what I'm assuming how that will be. But it doesn't even have to be like a supernatural type killer. It could be a killer that could probably invented like a jetpack and is just wants to use it against like survivors or something like that. Or like a killer with a glider, kind of like Green Goblin, that could like stab survivors with his glider or something like that. I don't know. Something interesting as like a flying killer. I mean, I don't know how the power will, like, I don't know how it will work. I expected the artist to fly, honestly, because she's kind of like a bird. So that would have been a great opportunity to add a flying killer to the game. But I guess that's not really what they thinking about, because I know my man's Matthew Kote, he said that it's like a flying killer can't really work in the game. But they, like, sometimes they be trolling, because I remember them saying that it was what they said, or I think it was a tweet one time. They said that they weren't never gonna add a clown killer into the game because people have phobia of clowns. And then look what happened. They wound up adding a clown killer to the game. So I don't know. Anything's possible. They be creative with their concepts. So I would kind of see a flying type killer coming, even if it is just like a volt animation. Flying killer most likely might happen in this game. It could even be the vampire killer. Who knows? Like, the vampire killer could possibly be disguised as a bat and then fly around the map. You know what I'm trying to say? Oh, that could definitely work on its own, because of the fact that bats aren't too big. So maybe when the vampire shapeshifts into a bat, it could like get around the map easy because it would just be a bat. It wouldn't be nothing huge, you know what I'm saying? Like a whole body flying, you know what I'm trying to say? So I'm guessing that would be pretty cool as a power, but I'm guessing the vampire killer would have a much more interesting power in the first place. But that flying ability will be pretty cool, but it will just be getting around the map probably. So that's kind of like any other killer, like Blight. He could run around the map. Spirit could teleport around the map. So that wouldn't be much of a surprise. I guess the shock factor would just be that the vampire could transfer into a bat and fly around the map. That would be the old shock factor. But I feel like that could get old fast. I mean, I don't know. It depends on how the mechanic works, because I love the way Pinhead's mechanic works. Even though he's very, very similar to Clown in a way. So, but I still love the way his mechanic works. So, as long as they get that down packed, I'll love a flying killer in the game, honestly. And coming in at number 1, we have a crawling killer. I wanted this type of killer in the game for so long, bro. Honestly, devs, devs, can y'all just make a crawling killer already, please? I know it might be a lot of work with like the animations and stuff, especially the animations, because you have to do the animations for everything. And when I mean crawling killer, I mean crawling killer. Like, I mean the killer that's power is literally crawling around. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, the killer could crawl on walls, objects, trees, like surfaces. Like the killer could crawl on anything. The ceiling. Like, wouldn't it be scary? Say if you're doing a map say if you're doing a map. Wow. Say if you're doing a gen in Haddonfield, right? And then while you're on a gen, like, the killer's tear radius like the killer has no tear radius, and you just see the killer crawl through the window, and you like, oh wow, because you thought every single like killer could go through the has to go up the stairs, except Nurse. Like, every other killer has to go up the stairs, and you were expecting them to go up the stairs, and then you just see a killer crawl through the window. Wouldn't that be terrifying? Like, that killer would be, yo, I feel like that killer, like a crawling type killer, could really change the game atmosphere, because it will make it much more creepy. And I already know everybody would love to go against a crawling killer. I mean, even if it's any other type of crawling killer, like when Resident Evil was getting teased, I thought we was gonna get the Licker. I feel like that would have been lit. But I understand Nemesis and the Tyrant, aka Mr. X, they will be much more like, they make much more money, 1, and 2, they will be much more interesting. But the Licker, I definitely wouldn't mind in DVD. I feel like that would be pretty lit, having the Licker crawl on top of stuff, and then having the tongue be kind of like have a similar mechanic to Death Slinger, where the tongue could like wrap around you, and then the Licker could pull you closer to it, and then attack you, something like that, and then pounce on you, anything like that. I would just love a crawling killer in the game. It's like, dude, it's like, are we ever gonna get a crawling killer in the game? Because I feel like that would be a lot of work though, with animations, especially the fact that it's in first person too. But I mean, I've seen a single player game do it. I've seen Alien versus Predator do it. When you play as Alien, it's in first person, and you can crawl on the ceiling. I guess it will make the player dizzy, especially since you're trying to catch like actual players and not just bots. So that would definitely be a challenge. I know the killer might be pretty hard, but it's like, who knows? But it'd be cool seeing a crawling killer pounce from like tree to tree, and then you just doing a gen. You like, oh, what's that in the air? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, that would be the littest thing in the game, bro. A crawling killer. Imagine. I already know Sadako is not gonna crawl, even though she crawled through the TV, but she don't just crawl in general, right? Like, she's not the girl from The Grudge. They had a movie where they fought before, but that's I don't know. That's for another topic. But anyways, that's the top 5 list of the type of killers I want to see this year. I'm hoping at least one of them happen this year. Like, these are my top 5 killers, like, that I really want to see happen. You know what I'm trying to say? Especially the crawling one. The crawling one, please, come on. We need a crawling killer in the game. Like, that would be the coolest thing in the world. Happy New Year. Love y'all. I'll see you on the next one. Stay safe, take care, and peace.
To the beat, to the beat, y'all.
Check it out.
Come on. 1, 2.
1, 2, y'all.
What you going